This month, from Big Finish, it's officially spooky season, particularly if you're the third Doctor, Joe Jones, or a member of the Torchwood team. But before we get to that exciting time of the month, first we have The Eighth Doctor and Lucy Miller, Series 3, collected together as a download box set. The series starred Paul McGann and Sheridan Smith and was released way back in 2009 on CD and download. Here it is all together with all 8 stories featuring Wirren, Crinoids, and the 8 Legs. This is released today from bigfinish.com.
From very well charted 8th Doctor territory to the Uncharted, as we start a whole new chapter in the 8th Doctor Time War saga. This is Volume 6, Uncharted Reflections, containing Nowhere Never by Catherine Armitage, The Road Untravelled by Tim Foley, Cascade by James Moran, Borrow or Rob by Tim Foley. David Richardson said, a new start in the Time War with our established team of the 8th Doctor, Cass and Alex. I love the chemistry between this trio in the previous box set, Cass, and it was inevitable we should bring them back together and send them off in a new direction. The journey is just the beginning and it's crashing towards some unexpected turns, and as you can see on the cover, there's some interesting little guest stars, as we've got Conrad Westmus and Hattie Morahan not playing their respective characters, so there's a bit of mystery there. And if we go back to January's cast release with that cliffhanger, it'll be interesting to see what direction they take the 8th Doctor in Reflections as we start a whole new chapter in the Time War.
Meanwhile, Benny has now settled in at the Eternity Club, and it's time for this new half-hour format to have its limits put to the test by writer Tim Foley in Rhubarb. And please retain your ticket to the cloakroom. The first story features a small argument between a Sontaran and a Draconian, escalating into an interstellar war. All of this wrapped up in half an hour. Quite the challenge there for Tim Foley, who we know for writing these wonderful long-form stories. So we'll see just quite how he handles this something smaller scale, but also evidently quite large in scale as well. Meanwhile, please retain your ticket to the cloakroom sees Benny and Secretary Pym exploring the Eternity Club itself a bit more and going into its hidden depths to uncover some secrets. Perhaps there could be some plot revelations here that will lead into where this series is going. We'll have to wait and see on that front.
From Benny to Jenny. Volume 2, Jenny was still running. This time, she's saving time. In this volume, we have 4 stories: Florence O'Connor and the Sandwich of Doom by John Dorney, A Beginner's Guide to Monsters and How to Slay Them, Genesis of Humans by Adrian Pointer, and Reboot by Lizzie Hopley. This box set contains a new villain, Jexabel, played by Anna Lundberg, who, if you know, was a big part of Staged. Sheens against the Tenants in this box set. So this will be very interesting, the 3rd installment in this saga. Anna Lundberg said, working with Georgia is a pleasure. Before we've played versions of ourselves in Staged, whereas here we get to play very heightened characters and be enemies. Jexabel is a mysterious force of nature, very temperamental, and she's the richest being in the universe. She is trying to create a superhuman kind of civilization, and she doesn't care who goes down along the way. She is a root. Georgia Tennant added, it's very exciting working with Anna again as a baddie to my goodie. So that is Jenny saving time this time. What's she going to be saving next? Is she still going to be running? We'll just have to wait and see for Volume 4.
Also available this month from Anderson Entertainment and Big Finish, it's UFO Shadowplay, an audiobook read by Nicholas Briggs and written by James Swallow. This was originally scheduled for last month. If you watched our September preview, you may remember us mentioning it there. Here it is again, because evidently it got delayed. James Swallow had to say, early on, one of the tonal choices I made with Shadowplay was to write it as much as possible in the mode of the 70s sci-fi novels I read growing up. I want this story to feel like it picks up seamlessly from where the TV show ends, as if it was a lost manuscript penned back in 1972. It was a real challenge, and I really hope my enthusiasm for UFO will come through for old and new fans alike.
From the very old to the new, I guess vampires are very old. But we have a new Big Finish original series, Vamped, created by James Goss and written by James Goss, starring Juliet Landau. This is a brand new vampire series where we have vampires live their lives by rules. But who polices them? Welcome to the Office of the Night, where vampire Catherine and Mangus keep an uneasy peace between the living and the undead. Vamped is a brand new audio series by Big Finish, and the first volume comprises of 3 grisly cases as the undead officers investigate brutal human tasting parties, contaminated red market blood, and a cult that professes to change one of vampire society's oldest rules. So the first volume is out in October, and the second volume is out in February. Very exciting time of year to get into this and sink your teeth into this Big Finish original series.
Meanwhile, Guy Adams is supplying us with a Torchwood Halloween special. To walk in Widdershins means to walk anti-clockwise, and if you do it around a grave, it's said to be rather unlucky. If you were to do this in real life, hopefully nothing would happen. If you were a character in Torchwood doing this, however, something's definitely going to happen, and that's what Ian is about to find out later this month in Widdershins from Torchwood.
From a Torchwood spooky special to the Doctor Who spooky special. Well, I'm going to class it as a spooky special. It's the Quintessence, where we see the third Doctor and an older Joe have a rematch with the Cybermen. This is a 6-part story written by Stuart Pringle and Lauren Mooney, who are fantastic little horror writers. So this is going to be an interesting gothic mystery tale set in a bizarre Victorian manor with a very unusual family. The producer, Heather Chandler, added, "This production had me excited. Not only do we have the return of Katie Manning as the amazing Jo Jones alongside Tim as the Doctor, but we have the Mondasian Cybermen." I can't help but do Peter Capaldi when you mention Mondasian Cybermen. Stuart and Lauren have written a terrifying gothic script that goes from a Victorian house on an alien wasteland to the depths of Mondas. The Doctor and Joe come across the Pepperdine family who are hiding quite a few secrets, but they don't know the true extent and dangers that they're in. And I cannot wait to uncover what dangers they are in the Quintessence. So hopefully this is a triumphant return for the older Joe and the third Doctor.
I think it's fair to say Quintessence is the release that excites us both the most this month.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, not that it's looking to be a bad month by any means, but just nothing stands out quite as much as the third Doctor and Cybermen do.
Yes, there's a good track record with Tyrant of Logic, I Love the Bluetooth, and of course, our favourite Cyberman story of all time, Scourge of the Cybermen.
Yeah, there's a lot of good going for this box set. You've also got Lauren Mooney and Stuart Pringle, 2 writers who really do enjoy their work. I mean, they've come out with some particularly strong ones, especially when they lean into the horror genre, which certainly this seems to be doing. You got the haunted house there, a wonderful cover from the point of view of a Cyberman as well. You know, your little World Enough in Time, Dr. Fool's reference with the teardrop. Very, very exciting, this story. And it's a 6-parter as well.
Yes, you really get your teeth into it. And of course, like we say, it's sort of a writer's vision. So I think that's going to be really exciting, but it's not going to be chopping and tailing throughout, but it's just going to be their vision for this. And it seems like there's going to be a bit of environment change, you know, going to Mondas. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, keep things fresh. I mean, it's also nice having this story be specifically for older Joe as well.
Yes.
Jo Jones here, you know, much closer to the end of her life than she was back when she first travelled with the Doctor. She's lost Cliff by this point, and so mortality is something that's very much on her mind. And coming face to face with the Cybermen, which is this vision of an alternative to mortality in a way.
Hmm.
I mean, I've just literally described immortality, but yeah, it's not quite the immortality you would like. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what is done with that throughout this story. Other than Quintessence, what else is exciting you this month?
I feel like Reflections, Uncharted.
You know what? It's been creeping up on me a bit, that one.
It's one where I forget it's happening, but then I see the cover. I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening. And having seen Paul McGann live in Stuff a Legend, it's
In
made me go
costume as well.
in that costume. You're like, I'm kind of. I mean, I'm craving McGann. I mean, who isn't?
I mean,
And I really enjoyed Cass. I thought that was a real nice, refreshing change from the Eighth Doctor Time War. It's probably the most consistent box, I'd say.
yeah, probably.
With this new TARDIS team. So yeah, I'm excited to see what direction we go. This is obviously the first part of a new series.
Yeah, it very much feels like Cass was the prologue to this.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I wonder how long it will go on for, because we've only got the one box set announced, but clearly there's more to come with this. I do like the sounds of this taking the Time War in a new direction. I mean,
Feels
there's
like
not a
they're
Dalek
exploring.
in sight,
Yeah.
which is intriguing and in a way exciting as well. Like, you do sort of the Daleks lose their shine if they're used too often.
I mean, they're on
So,
the Time War release covers, but they're barely in many of the stories.
yeah, and so here it's nice to see things going in a different direction, exploring some really weird timeline stuff. It looks
Which is what you want from a
as
Time War
yeah.
story,
I think particularly with the Eighth Doctor, where he's one who's not necessarily on the front lines, who is more dealing with the repercussions of it, trying to help
ripples.
people where he can. Yeah. And so having that be literal ripples in time, I suppose, as things get very weird. Yeah, I'm down for this now. It's taken me a little bit, but I'm starting to hopefully see the vision here.
Yeah, the tapestry.
Well, maybe not the
Maybe
grand
not that.
tapestry.
Yeah.
More just the tapestry of reflections, at least.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's also intriguing is that you've got episode 2 and 4 both written by Tim Foley, which is said to be a two-parter, but with a story in between, Cascade by James Moran. So I'm looking forward to how that all plays out.
I mean, it's Tim Foley, so it's going to be great.
We shouldn't have doubted, really, because he's the chief writer of this box set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Torchwood excites me as well. As somebody who doesn't really pick up Torchwood, this one seems like a fun experiment one. The trailer had me intrigued.
Guy Adams as well. He's someone who used to write Big Finish quite a lot, but seems to have slowed down a bit of late. But yeah, I think particularly when it comes to something more horror based, I'm all ears.
Yeah, especially a Torchwood.
I mean, he did do Double, which was a bit shaky for us.
Yeah.
But I think he's built up more than enough goodwill with lots of other brilliant releases. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Nice bit of Halloween listening. The cover as well. Like, there is something hypnotic about it.
Yeah.
Have my eye on this one. I mean, yeah, we both already pre-ordered it as well. I'm sure we'll probably do a video around Halloween time too, because how can we resist? I mean, speaking of Halloween, will you be picking up Vamped PD?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry, James Goss.
I mean, I like vampire stuff, but yeah, it's just a lot of other Big Finish happening.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to draw a line somewhere, and so
Like, if
for an
if
original,
reviews are great, I might be swayed.
yeah. I mean, the actors have had nothing but good things to say about it. It's apparently a
Mm.
hilarious script. Try to sway anyone away from picking this one up. Please do support it
Yeah.
if it intrigues you. But yeah, it's just not quite for us, I suppose. I mean, same with Jenny. I think that's another skip for us.
It's funny because I've picked up the other two sets. Really enjoyed the first set, so I was like, I'll pick up the second one. I've not listened to the second set. That's been out nearly 2 years.
Mm.
So I'm like, I need to listen to that before I pick up Volume 3. I'm sure it's a great set. I enjoy the enthusiasm. I think Jenny's one of those spin-offs that makes total sense for Big Finish to do. But yeah, it's one of those ones where I'm like, I can pass for now.
I mean, a spin-off we've already committed to, The Eternity Club.
Hmm.
Right. Rhubarb?
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 I mean, it's a bit rhubarb, but rhubarb.
Yeah, indeed. I'm Rhubarb, you there.
Rhubarb.
If you've not heard the trailer, you won't know what we're on
We're,
about.
we're just like, they're being idiots, which,
Uh,
nothing new.
we're not being idiots, we're just being a bit sad.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the first set of stories in this, and obviously Tim Foley is taking the writing helm for this one, so that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. What do you make of the half-hour format for these?
I think they're fine. I think the stories that have been out so far, the first two, they've not outstayed their welcome.
They lend themselves to comedy as well.
The music score definitely with a yeah, they definitely have that.
I'm a death to the Daleks.
It's a bit.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
It's all, leaning into that. You got some mysteries bubbling away in the background as well. Yeah. For now, it's just let's enjoy some more stories with these characters, particularly Rhubarb.
Yes.
I think, the cloakroom story from this set is probably the one of the two that'll push the arc further forward.
Yeah.
But as it stands, this series is just more chance for Benny to have a family of sorts again and just enjoy some quieter time, I suppose. Have a bit of a rest before, well, who knows what's next for her. Let us know which release excites you most in the comments below.
What release are you fearful of,
What will be your Halloween listen? It doesn't have to be one from this month. If you've got a favourite spooky story that you like to stick on around Halloween time, let us know what it is. Or maybe you've picked one up or you've got your eye on one that's
and you're
been
saving
intriguing you for a while. Yeah, you're saving it up for the big night. Or maybe you just don't celebrate Halloween at all, which fair play to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure we'll be listening to something spooky. I'm not particularly big on Halloween, but I feel like as the nights draw in, it's a good excuse to listen to some spooky. Yeah. And, stick on some more chilling TV as well. Yeah. But anyway, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Ha 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 ha.